Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Adda 247. बेल आइकन दबाइए, अड्डा 247 की सारी नोटिफिकेशंस पाइए. अड्डा 247 गवर्नमेंट जॉब इन योर पॉकेट.
Hello friends and welcome to the Hindu editorial analysis of 15th of March. This is the English version. If you want the link of the Hindi version, you will find that in the description and also the comment box below the video. So my dear friends, let's take a look at the review. But before we do that, let me just remind you that there are various things once again that we have in today's editorial. Like we have some motivational quote for you for motivating you. Then we'll also take a look at all the articles that we have today in the Hindu editorial, and then we're going to take a look at the question and answers that we have here for you. If you face problems in passage-based questions and answers, we also have vocabulary words to improve your vocabulary, and we also have grammatical questions for the improvement of your grammar. So without further ado, let's take a look at the motivational quote that we have here for you. So my dear friends, here's the motivational quote for you. The one who falls and gets up is so much stronger than the one who never fails. So my dear friends, the point over here is that it's really very important that you fail at times, because if you will not fail, then you will not actually know what is your real strength or actually how strong you are. So that is why, my dear friends, the one who falls gets up, and gets up is so much stronger than the one who never fell, because the one who never fails is not able to understand how strong is he, to be exact. So now, my dear friends, that was the motivational quote. I hope that you take this right to your heart, my dear friends. Now, let's take a look at the e-paper that we have here for you. So, here's the e-paper, my dear friends, for the review. Now, see. Over here, you can find over here the power of two. So, I am sure that you would be aware that in the bi-poll that held recently, yesterday, the result of the bi-poll came. And in fact, the SP-BSP combo, it really did work in the UP bi-polls. And in fact, many of the candidates did win. So, perhaps this is actually a political analytic kind of an article. All those of you who are interested in politics, and this is definitely an article for you. And not only that, if you are actually pursuing, or if you are actually taking the UPSC examination, it's also a very important article for you, my dear. Now, then you can find over here, the left doesn't need the Congress. So perhaps another political article over here. So once again, if you are interested in politics, or perhaps if political science is your cup of tea, then definitely go through this article. This is also pretty important for those who are taking UPSC examinations. Now, let's come down further. So here is far short of the potential. Now, let's just say, my dear friends, that you are actually a student of IR. All right, let's just say if you are studying international relations, or if you're, if you're preparing for the UPSC examination, then this is a very important article, my dear friends. But since there is a financial angle also involved, so this is also a pretty good article for the banking aspirants, and we will analyze this article for sure. This will be our second article for analysis today. Now, at left, what do we have here? We have Hawking, 1942 to 2018. Well, so perhaps a great scientist, a great scientist, Stephen Hawking, and, we lost him yesterday. So perhaps somebody who, when he was in his 20s, he was told by the doctor that you only have 2 more years to live, and then perhaps you will die. Well, Stephen Hawking did not let that go to his heart. Rather, he worked it around and managed to stay with us till 76 years. So perhaps, yes, it is a loss not only for the scientific community, but also for humanity. But we are going to analyze this article for sure out of our love and respect for Stephen Hawking. So now let's come back to the center screen once again, my dear friends. I hope that you got the funda and you got the overview of the very important article that we just read for you. Now let's take a look at what other articles are there for the review. So guys, here's the other article for review, Cosmology's Worst Gambler. So perhaps, another article dedicated to Stephen Hawking. I'm sure you will find a lot of such articles, by the way. Well, this is also another very beautiful article, and if you want, you can definitely go through this one for sure. Then, a political choice. So, what sparks an India-Pakistan crisis? So, another important IR point of view article. All those preparing for UPSC exams, watch out for this article. It's pretty cool for you, my dear friends. Then, explaining 1971. India's intervention achieved strategic objectives while maintaining a humanitarian veneer. So perhaps another pretty cool article. If you are preparing for any particular examinations, do go through this one. I am sure you will find this article interesting. So now let's come back to the center screen once again, my dear friend. So that was all perhaps as far as the review is concerned. Can we come back to the center screen now? let's go back over there in the center screen. Okay, thank you. So my dear friends, I am sure that you would have gone through all the important articles that we have here for you, and now it's time for us to take a look at the first and the foremost important article that we have here for you. So out of our respect for Stephen Hawking, let's take a look at the first article that we have here at hand. So Hawking, 1942 to 2018. Well, this great man took physics to the people and changed the way we think about disability. Now that is something that's absolutely for sure. So perhaps Stephen Hawking showed to the world how physics can be seen, or should be seen rather, the original way of seeing it. And in fact, how shall we take disability? Disability is not something that can stop you from achieving greatness, and that is what Stephen Hawking clearly showed us. Well, few scientists, only a few scientists, in fact we can say fewer human beings, managed to break down the walls of the so-called ivory tower of academia and touch and inspire people who may not otherwise be interested in science. Stephen Hawking was one of those few. So perhaps only a very few, a handful of scientists perhaps actually managed to break down the walls of the so-called ivory tower, of academia and studies, and touch and inspire millions and millions of people who are basically absolutely not interested in science at all. But Stephen Hawking was one of those few, who made science look so much interesting, whether you actually know about science or not. Now, let's understand more over here. Judging by the odds he faced as a young graduate student of physics at Cambridge University, nothing could have been a more remote possibility. When he was about 20 years old, he got the shattering news that he could not work with the great Fred Hoyle for his PhD as he had aspired to. So perhaps, by the way, if you go by the odds that Mr. Stephen Hawking faced, while he was a young graduate student of physics at Cambridge University, you will definitely see, it was a very remote possibility coming to the achievement that he actually achieved then. When, by the way, he was 20 years old, he got the shattering news, absolutely breaking news, and in fact something that really did break him down, that, he could not work with the great Fred Hoyle for his PhD, and it was something which he had dreamt for, right from his childhood. Now, then what happened? Well, around this time, he was diagnosed with ALS, that's full form is right here, an incurable motor neuron disease, and given 2 years to live. Not many would have survived this, let alone excelled in the manner he did. So perhaps when he had, when he got the news around this time, when he was 20 years of age, he got the time that he has got ALS, and it was an absolutely incurable motor neuron disease, and he was given just 2 years to live when he was 20 years of age. So not many, by the way, have survived this particular ALS, but he not only survived it, he excelled at the survival the way that he did. Now, luckily, the type of ALS he had progressed slowly, and over time he made many discoveries that marked him among the great physicists of his time. His first breakthrough was in the work he did for his PhD thesis. Well, thank God, perhaps luckily, the type of ALS he had, by the way, but actually, it progressed slowly and over time. So he had some time, for himself. He was able to give a lot to the world, a lot of progress to the world, and he made many discoveries in the meantime. And the discovery that he made, it was not some very small discoveries. Rather, it was some of the best discoveries ever made in the scientific world. And because of that, he became one of the greatest physicists of his time. Now, his first breakthrough was in the work that he did in his PhD thesis. Well, so what did he do about that? Let's learn over here. The expanding universe and the unstoppable collapse of a black hole under its own gravity present two extreme spectacles for the physicist to grapple with. So this is something that was achieved by Stephen Hawking. The expanding universe and the unstoppable collapse of a black hole under its own gravity, present two of the extreme spectacles for the physicist to grapple with. Well, now, my dear friends, I feel that you should take a look at the first vocabulary word that we have here for you. So let's take a look at question number 1, please. Now, so we just talked about grapple. So what do you think, my dear friends? What's the synonym for the word grapple from the options reject, retreat, contend, liberate? Well, liberate means to free someone. Contend means to fight for something. Retreat, once again, means to, to go back, all right, to surrender perhaps, and to go back, not surrender, but run back, from a particular fight, Then a deserter, perhaps, that can be say somebody who deserts is somebody who retreats. Then reject means a clear rejection, not saying no to something or somebody. Well, I am sure till now you would have answered your this particular question in the comment section below the video. It's 1-3. Contend. Now see, grapple means to wrestle, so contend also means to fight for something. So that's why going to be option number 3, contend, my dear friends. Now let's go back to the e-paper once again. Well, inspired by Roger Penrose's ideas on the latter, Hawkins came up with the singularity theorem for the universe. This work and its extensions, known as the Hawking-Penrose singularity theorems, brought him international acclaim. So perhaps, you know, he was extremely inspired by Roger Penrose's ideas on, by the way, on black hole, on the black hole, you know, collapsing in the black hole under its own gravity. So perhaps this is something that, you know, it was actually interested him and it actually inspired him. And inspired by this particular Roger Penrose ideas out of the collapse of a black hole under its own gravity, excuse me, Hawkins came with a singularity theorem for the universe. Well, this work and its extensions, known as the Hawking-Penrose singularity theorems, brought him international acclaim. Now, later, along with others, he formulated the laws of black hole mechanics, which resemble the laws of thermodynamics. Thinking along these lines led to him a contradiction that this theory predicted the black holes would exclude radiation, whereas in a purely classical picture, nothing could escape the black hole, not even light. Well, later, after some time, you know, along with the other theories that he formulated, the laws of black hole mechanics, which are pretty much similar to the laws of thermodynamics, thinking along these particular lines led him to a contradiction, to an opposition, that this theory predicted that the black holes would exude radiation, you know, would not actually include radiation in it, whereas as far as a black hole is concerned, in a purely classical picture, nothing is going to escape the black hole, let alone radiation. Nothing, even light, not even light can escape a particular black hole. I hope, guys, this is some scientific chit-chatter going on over here, but this is something, but hey, we are, you know, paying a tribute to the great Stephen Hawking, so yes, there will be some scientific chit-chatter as well. I am sure that you'll love this, because see, this is something that can actually come in your examinations, and then you might feel really much a lot of trouble if we don't go through this chit-chatter right now. Let's understand a little more about this. So, he resolved this contradiction by invoking quantum mechanics. The radiation of the black hole was named Hawking radiation. So perhaps, you know, the great Stephen Hawking resolved the contradiction by invoking quantum mechanics, you know, and the radiation of the black hole was named Hawking radiation. Well, guys, that was all as far as the first para of this great article is concerned. Now let's take a look at question number 2 that we have here for you. So, which of the following is not true according to para 1? We'll see. Statement A says, judging by the odds he faced as an old graduate student of physics at Cambridge University, nothing could have been a more remote possibility. Then statement B says, around this time he was diagnosed with the ALS, an incurable motor neuron disease, and given 2 years to live. Then statement C says, he resolved his contradiction by invoking quantum mechanics. Now see, my dear friends, if you feel option number 1 is the answer, then my dear, you can type 2-1 in the comment section below the video. If you feel number 2 is the answer, you can type 2-2 in the comment section below the video. If you feel number 3 is the answer, you can type 2-3 in the comment section below the video. If you feel number 4 is the answer, you can type 2-4 in the comment section below the video. And if you feel number 5 is the answer, you can type 2-5 in the comment section below the video. Well, I am sure till now, my dear, you would have answered for sure. Well, as far as the 3 statements are concerned, only statement A that says, judging by the odds he faced as an old graduate, which perhaps is not true because he was a young graduate student of physics when he got to know about his disease. So, my dear friends, the correct answer over here is statement A. That means option 1. So, if you have chosen 2-1, only A, then my dear friends, you have given the correct answer, and I hope that you have done the same. Well, let's go back to this interesting scientific article and let's understand more about this. So, there is no doubt, there is absolutely no doubt that with Hawkins' death, the world has lost an outstanding scientist. But he was not only a pathbreaker in the world of science. So absolutely, there's no doubt on the fact that with Stephen Hawking's death, our world has lost an outstanding scientist. But he was not just a pathbreaker in the world of science. Well, he came to be known to millions with the publication of A Brief History of Time. His best-selling book describing in non-technical terms the structure, development and the fate of the universe. He ranks with Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein as the rare physicist who fired the popular imagination. So perhaps, well, he came to be known to millions with the publication of A Brief History of Time. Well, I haven't, read this book, but I'm sure I'm going to read it now. And you should also read this if you haven't done it so far. This is, by the way, his best-selling book describing in non-technical terms the structure, the development and the fate of universe. So everything scientific in non-scientific and in really simple language. So he ranks, by the way, Stephen Hawking ranks with the Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein as the rare physicist who fired the popular imagination. Well, my dear friends, I think now let's take a look at question number 3 that we have here for you, because another vocabulary question waiting for you right here. So, now what do you think, my dear friends, is the synonym for the word conviction from the options of distrust, disbelief, opinion, overturning? Well, distrust is something when you don't trust anyone, you don't have faith on something, so that's distrust. Then disbelief is when you do not believe somebody or something, then that's disbelief. Then opinion is having a particular belief in something, that's the opinion. Then overturning, once again, when you don't actually go with something, when something is not really, that makes you believe in it, so that's more like overturning. Well, the correct answer for this particular question, I am sure, my dear, you would have answered till now. It's 3-3, opinion. So because see, conviction means to have a belief in something, and more like opinion, which also means to have a belief in something, all right, and that's basically on a personal belief of yours. So that's the correct answer. I hope, my dear, you chose the same, and your score till now has gone up to 3-3 for sure, right? Well, let's go back to this article then. Now, see, however, while Newton and Einstein worked on a broad canvas, Hawking was focused on cosmology and gravitation. He was a life that carried to the public not only the secrets of the cosmos, but also the promise of hope and human endeavor. So perhaps, well, let's just see, as far as Newton and Einstein are concerned, they worked on a broader canvas. Hawking, on the other hand, focused more on cosmology and gravitation. Now, the great Hawkins, he was a life that carried onto the public not only the secrets of the cosmos, but also the promise of hope and human endeavor. He showed the disability. He showed that disability need not hold a person back in the purest or in the pursuit of his dreams. He leaves behind a wealth of knowledge and also the conviction that the will to survive can overcome all odds. So perhaps, the great Stephen Hawking showed to the whole world that disability need not hold a person back in the pursuit of a person's dream. And in fact, Stephen Hawking leaves behind a really vast wealth of knowledge and also the conviction or belief that the will to survive can overcome all odds. So my dear friends, I hope that with this particular article you are able to understand what exactly was the belief of Stephen Hawking and perhaps what exactly can we learn from Stephen Hawking. So you can also type RIP Stephen Hawking in the comment section in order to pay tribute to this great scientist. Well, let's go back to the question number 4 that we have here for you. So my dear friends, here's question number 4 for you. Now, which of the following is true according to Para? So my dear friends, statement A is there is no doubt that with Hawking's death, the world has lost an outstanding scientist. Then, statement B says, while Newton and Einstein worked on narrow canvases, Hawkins was focused on cosmology and gravitation. Then, statement C says, Hawking showed that the disability need not hold a person back in the pursuit of his dreams. So once again, if you feel option number 1 is the answer, you can type 4-1 in the comment section below the video. If you feel number 2 is the answer, you can type 4-2 in the comment section below the video. If you feel Number 3 is the answer. You can type 4-3 in the comment section below the video if you feel. Number 4 is the answer. You can type 4-4 in the comment section below the video. And if you feel number 5 is the answer, you can type 4-5 in the comment section below the video. So my dear friends, if the following is true, that's totally up to you. But let me tell you, if you have taken a good look at this article, then let me tell you, my dear friends, only if you have taken a good look at this article and also this particular question, see, statement B is something which is not true, because we talk over here while Newton and Einstein worked on narrow canvases. Well, it was a wide canvas and not narrow. That was given in the article, which means option only C and A. Option number 4, only C and A is the true one over here. So the correct answer, my dear, is option number 4 for this question. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed learning about this first article. Now let's take a look at the another article that we have here for you. So it's far short, it's far short of the potential. So perhaps what exactly is the potential, or which potential are we talking about over here, or whose potential are we talking about over here? The India-Japan economic relationship remains underwhelming in relation to strategic ties. So perhaps, there has been a lot of strategic ties, but, in contradiction of the strategic ties, the economic relationship between India and Japan has not, achieved as much as it could have achieved. Now, let's understand more what's given over here. So, in theory, it's hard to find the two nations that make a better economic fit than the fast-growing populous India and the rich, demographically challenged Japan. Now, India needs technical expertise and investments to develop its infrastructure, while Japan has capital to spare and know-how to share. So, perhaps, if you want to find a better fit than India and Japan as far as the economic dynamics are concerned, well, then perhaps you will not find a better fit at all, because the developing India and the strategically demographically challenged Japan make a perfect friends for each other. Now, let's understand more over here. So they have a common strategy. See, both India and Japan, have a common strategic objective in countering Chinese hegemony in Asia, a goal that can be best met in collaboration. So both, perhaps, whether it's in both India and China, have a common strategic objective, and that is to counter China and counter China's hegemony in Asia, a goal that can be best met in collaboration. Now, and they enjoy a rare historic amity, being geographically and culturally close but not too close, and therefore free of contentious issues such as border disputes. So perhaps both India and Japan enjoy a rare historic amity and friendship, being geographically and culturally close but not too close, as said over here, therefore absolutely free of any contentious issues such as the border disputes. So my dear friends, this is the opening para over here. I am sure you could have got a lot of points over here. What exactly is this article going to be? Now let's take a look at question number 5 that we have here for you. So what's the antonym for the word contentious that we just read? So my dear friend, the options are combative, agreeable, amiable, and friendly. So now what do you think is the antonym over here? Well, if we talk about, see, friendly is something that really means, that's absolutely, to be friends with something or somebody. Then amiable is once again extremely, what do you say, very friendly, something like that only. And agreeable is also when you agree on something or somebody. Combative, on the other hand, is actually when you fight with something or somebody. Well, see, if you want to know the correct answer for this particular question, then you'll have to type 5-2, 5-3 and 5-4, because see, contentious means combative or fighting, but over here the antonyms are all agreeable, amiable, and friendly. So my dear friends, the correct answer for this question will be 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. So it's a little different from what we usually do, but I am sure that you would have got this answer correct as well. Now let's go back to the article that we have here for you. So it's right here, my dear friends. Now, boosting ties. Okay. Consequently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe have worked hard to upgrade ties. Regular high-profile bilateral visits have brought with them a smorgasbord of memoranda of understanding, some big-ticket projects, and notably Japanese investments. So in India's first bullet train, and you know what? as far as the political avowals to grow the economic relationship exponentially. So perhaps, as far as the India and Japanese collaboration is concerned, both the prime ministers, or the Indian and Japanese prime minister, have been extremely warm to each other, having a lot of bilateral visits, and perhaps also providing India the much needed, investment for the development of bullet train in India. So my dear friends, a lot of nice things have happened between India and Japan. So this is all this particular article is about, and what more can be achieved. So I am sure if you read this article completely, you will be able to get the correct answer and you get the correct theme of this article. Now let's see what do we have in the parajumble that we have here for you. So guys, here's a very simple parajumble. Simply do three things. First of all, try to find the first statement, then try to find the pairs which are their logical pairs, and then simply arrange them in a particular order. I have got full belief in you and you will be able to find the rearrangement. So start now, pause this video and start now. Okay, I hope you did pause the video. Now let's go on and let's see what's the answer over here. So the answer is GBHAFCED. The correct answer for this video, for this parajumble, is GBHAFCED. Now see, it starts from G that says, in theory, it's hard to find two nations that, that make a better economic fit. Followed by B, which says, then fast-growing populous India and rich demographically challenged Japan. Followed by H, which that says, India needs technical expertise and investments to develop its infrastructure. Then statement A says, while Japan has the capital to spare and the know-how to share, they have what? They have, that's given statement F, a common strategic objective in countering Chinese hegemony in Asia. Followed by statement C that says a goal that can be best met in collaboration, and they enjoy a rare historic amity. Followed by statement E that says being geographically and culturally close but not too close, and followed by statement D that says therefore free of contentious issues such as border disputes. So my dear friends, that's all the questions that we have over here. That's the correct order, by the way, for you, and I hope that you would have given the correct answer for sure. Now let's see the grammar questions that we have here for you, question number 7 and question number 8. Next slide. So it's right here, my dear friends. Question number 7 says, India needs technical expertise and investments to develop its infrastructure, while Japan has the capital to spare and know-how to share. So where's the error in question number 7, my dear friend? If you feel it's in the first part, then you should type 7-1 in the comment section below the video. If you feel it's in number 2, the second part, then you can type 7-2. If you feel it's in the third part, then you can type 7-3. If you feel the error is in the fourth part, then you can type 7-4. And if you feel there's no error at all in question number 7, then you can type 7-5 for the video. Well, my dear friends, I think, my dear friend, you would have got the answer till now. It's in the first part, and it should be India needs technical expertise. Because see, India, we're talking about singular entity over here. That is why, as far as the present indefinite rule is concerned, you use the first form of verb plus S or ES. The correct answer over here should be India needs technical expertise. Okay, my dear friends. Now, let's talk about question number 8, my dear friends. They have a common strategic objective in countering Chinese hegemony in Asia, a goal that can be best met in collaboration. Now, see, if you feel there's an error in part 1 of question number 8, then you can type 8-1 in the comment section below the video. If you feel the error is in part 2, then you can type 8-2 in the comment section below the video. If you feel it's in part 3, then you can type 8-3. If you feel the error is in part 4, then you can type 8-4. Well, if you feel there's no error at all, then you can type 8-5 in the comment section below the video. I hope till now you would have answered. Well, the correct answer is 8-4, because see, they have a common strategic objective in countering Chinese hegemony in Asia, a goal that can be best. Now see, there are two separate clauses in this particular statement. And in the second clause, my dear friends, see, the first one is already in perfect tense. The second one has to be in past indefinite, and that is why that can be best met should be used in part 4, not best meet. So I hope you got the funda over here, my dear friends. So that is the answer. Now, that was all that we had in today's English version of the Hindu editorial analysis. I hope you liked the version and you also liked the video already. Do tell us in the comment section what did you love the most about today's video, and also share this with your friends, because sharing is caring, my dear friends. Now I'm going to meet you again in the next editorial analysis. Till then, peace out.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Adda 247. बेल आइकन दबाइए, अड्डा 247 की सारी नोटिफिकेशंस पाइए। अड्डा 247 गवर्नमेंट जॉब इन योर पॉकेट।